Welcome to Cooking from the Cave. Today we're going to be making chocolate creme brulees. I'm going to be showing you a very simple way of putting together a very elegant dessert for your family or friends. We're going to start with the chocolate aspect. The chocolate aspect is actually, I'm using 3 different types of chocolate only because it's my decision to do so. You could obviously just use one type if you want. I have semi-sweet, I have milk chocolate, I also have dark chocolate in here. I've taken that and I've put it into a pot. I have 4 ounces of chocolate to 1 1/4 cups of heavy cream. It's important to use heavy cream for this so that the milk doesn't separate and it doesn't seize up on the chocolate. The next step is to heat up your chocolate very slowly. How to do that is to either, one, if you have never melted chocolate before, get yourself a good thermometer, make sure that chocolate doesn't get above 105 degrees, and continuously stir the pot. I'm going to work my spatula around the edges, and after a while what will happen is that chocolate will go from that hard form, it'll combine with that heavy cream, and it'll get into this nice liquid mixture we have here. Now, if you don't have a thermometer, it's fine. There's another way to do it, and you've probably read about it or seen it on TV. They're called double boilers. A double boiler is nothing more than a pot that is filled with water with another pot on top, so the steam from the hot water that's below will actually cook what's in that top pan. It's very similar to how a steamer works, except that that pan that's on top is a solid pan, and it helps you control the temperature of that top pan because all that's heating it up is that steam in there. It's much easier to do it that way, but if you've melted chocolate or if you do have an instant read thermometer, this method at least cuts down on having to clean another pot. Now, with every good creme brulee, there's going to be eggs. The eggs have to be tempered a certain way. What we're going to do is we're going to take 4 eggs, 2½ teaspoons of sugar. We're going to whisk those together. And it's imperative to mix these first together. It kind of protects your egg yolks a little bit from the hot chocolate or hot cream mixture that you have over here. And if you are making a creme brulee that is not a chocolate creme brulee, maybe you're making just a vanilla bean creme brulee or a lavender creme brulee or some type of creme brulee, your steps are going to be the same. Your cream will be heated up over here with whatever flavorings you have. Subtract the chocolate, but you're still going to have to do these same steps. I'm going to add my flavoring agents. It's going to be vanilla, 1 teaspoon, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of brandy as well. And we don't want to add our vanilla or our flavoring agents, if they're liquid flavoring agents, to the chocolate, because what could happen is the alcohol in here could seize up your chocolate, and what that'll do is it'll cause it to get very grainy on you. There's really no way of fixing that. Alright, so I'm whipping up my eggs. They're very simple. Trying to get to a smooth consistency. I'm also going to beat them up until the point of them changing in color, almost to a lighter color. They call it a lemon color. At this point we can start to temper our chocolate into our eggs, and we're going to take that mixture and put it back into our chocolate. The easiest way I find to do with that is to get a ladle just a little bit of the chocolate cream into here. Not a lot, just enough to probably about a 50% ratio of chocolate to egg. We just want to get that temperature of the eggs up. Okay, you see how loose this liquid now is in our pan. Almost looks like hot chocolate. Very rich hot chocolate. Now we're going to pour this mixture, because the egg temperature has gone from whatever room temperature it is, maybe 70 degrees. Brought it up to that 105 that was over here to mix that somewhere in that 85. Transferring this egg into here won't cause those eggs to go into a shock, and it won't accidentally cook them if this mixture is too hot. Eggs really won't start to coagulate until 140, so that's why either having that thermometer in there to make sure that you're at 105 we're having it on the double boilers. Very important, because you don't want scrambled eggs. You don't want scrambled egg creme brulees. We're going to slowly pour this in here. I'm going to whisk it the entire time. Creme brulees are easy to make. It just requires a lot of, well, patience and also equipment. Spatula, a nice flexible spatula is important, as well as a good whisk. A couple of good pans as well. And it's important to think about the ingredients you're going to put into it. If you are going to do a chocolate one, make sure you use very good high quality chocolate. You know, don't skip on any of the ingredients with creme brulees. They are designed to be that rich, very decadent dessert. A nice finale, penny good meal. We're just going to stir this up till it gets nice evenly combined. Once it's evenly combined, we can start to pour this into our ramekins. The final step when making creme brulees is a water bath. This water bath is important because the amount of eggs that's actually in your batter for your creme brulee, it's still considered a delicate dessert, even though it's going to be so rich and so heavy and everything, but the eggs could cook and again make scrambled eggs. So when we take it and we put just the creme brulee in the oven, that's what's going to happen. It's going to cook unevenly, your eggs are going to cook too fast, and it's going to have an off flavor. We put it in a water bath, which is basically a pot with warm water, not hot water, not boiling water by any means. And you want to make sure that the water's halfway filled up to the outside of the cup. And the reason why you do that is because you don't want the water to actually fall in once you start pouring all the liquid in. So let me show you how to do this. I find that it's very simple to, first start by putting the cup in the water to begin, and then you're going to pour your batter into the cup. I'm using ceramic ramekins. You could use coffee mugs if you want. And this is almost the perfect one. I'll show it to you. Just make sure that if there's any chocolate on the outside or any of your batter on the outside, you just wipe it off. But fill it about half to 3/4 of the way up. Your water's only going to be halfway on that. We'll put it in that water. We will then take our creme brulees, put our creme brulees in the oven. The oven's going to be at 300 degrees. We're going to bake it for 30 minutes. Okay, so after 30 minutes in the oven, we're going to remove them from the oven, and you're going to get them on a cooling rack, just like a cookie cooling rack. And what you're going to look for is they're still a little warm, but you just want to give it a little shake. And you can do this while it's still in the pan. As long as it's not liquid and it looks like it's just water sloshing side to side, that looks pretty well set up. It's almost at that pudding or jello state. We're going to let it cool down now on this rack for probably 15 to 30 minutes, and then we're going to put it in the refrigerator uncovered for about 4 hours. And then we'll come back and we'll torch the tops. I just removed our creme brulees from the refrigerator. It's been in there again for 4 to 5 hours. The next step is to finish this dessert off and eat it. We're going to take some granulated sugar and we're going to sprinkle it on top. Now don't forget, the creme brulees have come out of the refrigerator, so they are very cold. So it's okay to touch them right now. And you just want to evenly coat the top with the sugar. You don't want to dump a lot of sugar on, but you want to let the sugar kind of roll around so you're getting a nice even coat. If there's anything left, just knock that off. Give it another swirl. I'll make sure it's all evenly coated. I'll do the same for the next one. This one I didn't go so heavy on, so this one looks a little bit better. And you can do it 2 ways now. We're going to caramelize the top. This is what's going to give you that brulee or burnt sugar. I'm going to use a hand torch. You could do this under the broiler, but make sure your broiler's on as high as you can. Make sure your rack that you're going to be putting it on will get your creme brulees as close to the top of the oven as possible. And make sure your broiler is preheated so it's already ready to go. It's already at the highest temperature it possibly can. We're going to simulate the same thing with our hand torch. You can pick these up at almost any hardware store. I got mine at the local Home Depot. And I'm going to go back and forth over the top, caramelizing. It's hard to tell when you're dealing with the chocolate creme brulee if you're actually caramelizing or not. So watch carefully with it. You're looking for that brownish color. I know it's hard to see with the chocolate underneath, but you'll get a hang of it and you'll kind of see how that sugar changes. It looks like it's getting wet, and then all of a sudden it starts to turn color on you, and that's perfect. What this will give you is it'll give you that nice hard crust once it hardens, and it won't take very long for it to harden. Something as simple as that. We'll let it sit for about 30 seconds to a minute. It'll harden up on us. While I'm letting that one sit, I'll do the next one, and then we'll finish it off with some whipped cream. Alright, so both of them are now caramelized. You can hear that top. That's a good sound. That's the sugar is hardened now. It's cooled down a little bit. And all we got to do is serve this up. So I'm going to put some whipped cream, some mint or some berries would work well with this. But it's also that little perfect dessert. Very rich and very elegant. The other thing you can do when doing creme brulees, you can make and bake the creme brulees 2 to 3 days ahead of time. Don't caramelize them 2 to 3 days ahead of time. Caramelize them right before you're going to serve them and finish them up. But this could be done, you know, on a Thursday and your party's on a Saturday. Feel free and take advantage of that. Get ahead with those parties so you don't have to worry about, oh, what am I going to make for dessert? Here's a perfect dessert. Very elegant and very simple. Thanks for watching Cooking from the Cave. I'm Chef Pete Trusiak, and I'll see you real soon.